That's right.
Believe you knock him out?
Why not?
I don't want to see Terence fight Canelo, but I would love to see him fight anybody in that division because even at the 154, because I think he's the previous.
At the final press conference, Canelo Alvarez's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, turned up the heat with a fiery message for Terence Crawford. Reynoso vowed that fans would see the very best version of Canelo on fight night and boldly predicted a knockout win. With unwavering confidence, he declared that Canelo's combination of power and experience would simply be too much for Crawford to withstand.
I think of him sometimes like Marvin Hagler, who when he fought Duran, he gave him too much respect, and it was close. So when he fought Hearns, he thought, no, I'm going to go knock him out. What mentality do you want Canelo to have for this fight?
Lo mejor de su carrera, lo mejor de 20 años de preparación y de peleador, eso se va a ver en cámara. Ese es the best Canelo we're going to see in 20 years of career.
Canelo Alvarez has long carried the aura of a champion who thrives under pressure, and his recent words only reinforced that image. Speaking ahead of the showdown with Terence Crawford, Canelo boldly promised a knockout victory, leaving no doubt about his intentions. Such declarations are nothing new for the Mexican superstar, whose career has been defined by fearlessness and devastating power. Time and again, he has dismantled elite opponents with punishing stoppages, building a reputation as one of the sport's most dangerous finishers. By guaranteeing a knockout against Crawford, Canelo isn't just making a prediction, he's sending a psychological warning to his opponent and a rallying call to fans worldwide.
Oh, could be. In boxing, everything can happen, right?
Do you believe you knock him out?
Yeah. Why not?
Canelo, you said last year you have everything to lose and nothing to gain. And because you said if he wins, he's too small.
Yeah.
Is that still the same for you now?
No, when you don't have in mind one fight, you think in that way. But when you see how big is this fight, it's a big fight.
While Canelo Alvarez acknowledged that Terence Crawford appears impressive in his new physical form, he was quick to dismiss its significance once the two step into the ring. For Canelo, the fight itself will reveal the truth about who he is as a champion. He noted that every major bout comes with its share of chatter, speculation, doubts, and endless debates among fans and analysts. But in his view, all of that is just noise. Alvarez's stance is unwavering. No matter what the predictions may be, the outcome will be decided by his own performance on fight night. Inside the ring, he intends to have the final word.
Good. I feel happy because you know that you realize it's gonna be a good fight. So we expect a good fight.
There are rumors circulating. A lot of people, conspiracy theories, think that it's photoshopped. What's your opinion?
I don't think so. You know, people always talk, speculate and everything, but that's good. Around big fights always happen.
You're somebody who has moved up and through the weights himself. What do you think the biggest challenge of it is, and what do you think he maybe is underestimating?
No, maybe they know, but if not, I'm gonna remind them September 13th. I can do a lot of things in the ring, and I'm gonna put everything there.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez voiced strong concerns about the looming clash, making it clear he doesn't want to see Canelo Alvarez face Terence Crawford or anyone else in that division. Sanchez argued that the size disparity is simply too great and could create dangerous circumstances inside the ring. His perspective highlights a broader worry. While Canelo has successfully climbed through multiple weight classes, there comes a point where the physical gap may be too much to overcome. From Sanchez's standpoint, taking on opponents with such size disadvantages risks not only Canelo's longevity as a fighter but also his overall safety.
Canelo, but I would love to see anybody in that division because even at the 154, because I think he's the previous.
Well, why not Canelo? Is that just a little too much?
He can't be like Canelo fighting Charlo. Even though he's got a lot of talent, he's just not enough.
Former world champion Carl Froch observed that Terence Crawford's current condition makes him look both big and strong, attributes he believes could spell real trouble for Canelo Alvarez. Froch also reminded fans that Canelo is not untouchable. His loss to Floyd Mayweather earlier in his career, and more recently to Dmitry Bivol, demonstrated that even the Mexican superstar can be beaten when faced with the right style and opponent. For Froch, Those setbacks serve as proof that Crawford's added size and strength could apply serious pressure on Canelo once they meet in the ring.
Good. Counter punches, fast hands, naturally the lighter man, so it's going to be naturally the quicker man. But said earlier, he's looking bigger and stronger, so I think he's going to be able to cope with pressure from Canelo at times. But Canelo, I'm talking about, how does he win? And I think use his size, his strength, and his weight advantage, his natural weight advantage, to sort of bully Crawford around and push him back and put him under pressure, if indeed he can. And I just think that his natural ability, he's got high work rate, Canelo. He throws combination punches, he's great with a jab, he's defensive, he's a masterclass in it. He does everything really, really well, exceptionally well. But he's also tough. He's never been down, never been put over, never really looked like he'd been hurt. I mean, he's had a couple of losses, hasn't he? He's lost to Mayweather, he's lost to Dimitri Bivol, but he never really looked hurt. I think Bivol caught him with a couple of shots that may have buzzed him. Never went anywhere, did he? Never touched down on the canvas. So for Crawford to actually hit him and hurt him, or hit him and put him away, I can't see that happening. Canelo just needs to do what Canelo does, which is busy, excellent boxing masterclass work, but on his front foot and put Terence Bud Crawford under pressure. And that will probably be enough for him to get the job done. Now, for Crawford to win this fight, he's going to have to box and move, use his speed, use the ring craft, you know, the skills that we've seen time and time again. Ricky Burns, I've mentioned, Kell Brook, big win against Errol Spence. Nobody thought that would be a one-sided whooping, but that's what it was. Terence Crawford outclassed Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a phenomenal fighter. We know how good he is, and look what Bud Crawford managed to do to him. Such a quality fighter, and he's unbeaten as well. So he's coming into this fight, doesn't know how to lose. I know he's older than Canelo Alvarez. Has he got one eye on retirement? Maybe, but he's not going to want to go out on a loss. So Crawford needs to be fast behind the jab, combination punches, busy body and head, fast leg work all the way around the ring, use his speed, make Canelo reach like Bivol did.
Veteran broadcaster Jim Gray framed this showdown as one of those rare fights that only come along once in a generation. For him, the allure lies in the fact that both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are widely regarded as two of the greatest fighters of their era. Gray emphasized that the matchup is nearly impossible to predict, as each man brings distinct advantages. Alvarez carries the power and experience earned from countless high-profile battles, while Crawford enters with unmatched versatility, elite skills, and the momentum of an unbeaten record. In Gray's view, this is what makes the fight so compelling. Not a one-sided affair, but a true collision of icons whose contrasting strengths could deliver an instant classic.
To break down a fight, I mean, you know, obviously the big focus is on the weight and coming up in the division. And, you know, but look, Terence Crawford fights from both sides. And while Canelo has fought guys who, you know, have been southpaws and so forth, they usually don't switch in the middle of the round. So you never know what can happen in these fights. Canelo is a bigger guy, and Canelo, we saw what happened to him when he went up against Bivol. So we know what that looks like. And so, you know, it's a tough assignment to move up in weight, but Terence Crawford has taken on every tough assignment, and he looks in great shape. And you know, this guy's really something. So it's hard to say. You know, if you start analyzing and breaking this down, there are advantages for both.
Former world champion Steve Collins offered a balanced take on the matchup, admitting he couldn't pick a clear winner. In his view, Canelo Alvarez still has enough left in his career to overcome Terence Crawford. Yet Crawford himself may be the best fighter in the sport today. Collins highlighted the distinct qualities each man brings, Alvarez with his experience and toughness, and Crawford with his intelligence and adaptability. That contrast, he explained, is exactly why the fight has divided opinions across the boxing world. Both sides have valid reasons to believe their fighter will prevail. For Collins, it ultimately comes down to execution on the night, not pre-fight predictions.
Firmly picking Canelo, some people firmly picking Crawford. Where's your head? This.
I'm a fan of Canelo. I love his style. I like how he fights. I like everything about him. Boxing. Crawford, very good fighter. And some people believe and think that maybe Canelo might not be taken serious. People think, oh, Canelo's got this attitude, oh, I'm bigger than him, you know, I'm stronger than him. This is what they think Canelo's thinking. And they think, people believe that Canelo goes in underestimating Crawford, so be in for a shock. I don't believe Canelo is underestimating because it's long attitude, he's been around the game, too wide, successful to underestimate anybody. But also in saying that, Canelo's been around a long time, he's got a lot of hard fights under his belt, and I wonder, is every fight, next fight is going to be his last fight? Is Canelo still got it in the tank? We don't know. We know on the night Crawford's good enough to beat him. Canelo's good enough to beat Crawford. And saying that, I'm looking forward to the fight. I really don't know. I can't pick a winner. That's what's great about this fight, because I really cannot pick a winner.
Do you think size will play a factor in this fight?
Size can play a factor if you know how to use it to your advantage. Sometimes size can be to a disadvantage. I don't really think size is going to make that much difference. Yeah. Then Canelo is clever enough to use his weight to a positive. I don't really know. I can't simplify it and say, oh yeah, size will make a difference. That's what's great about this fight. I can't pick a winner.
Former UFC champion Michael Bisping added his perspective to the boxing super fight, zeroing in on the theme of legacy. He described Canelo Alvarez as the face of boxing and recognized Terence Crawford as the undisputed king of his division. In Bisping's eyes, this clash goes far beyond money or belts. It's about cementing a place in history. For Canelo, defeating an unbeaten and highly respected opponent like Crawford would further elevate an already legendary career. For Crawford, stepping up to challenge Alvarez represents the ultimate chance to prove himself against the sport's biggest star. Bisping's take underscores the deeper significance of the matchup. Both fighters are chasing more than victory. They are battling for their place in boxing immortality.
After all, and let's remember that Canelo Alvarez is kind of the face of boxing, but he's currently the number 3 pound-for-pound fighter. Canelo is only number 8, and of course number 1 is Alexander Usyk. A man that also, let's remember, moved up weight classes. Crawford wins here, he becomes the first ever 3-weight undisputed boxing champion, but he's up against big competition in Canelo. Alvarez is one of, if not the biggest star in boxing. All of the pressure is on Alvarez being the larger fighter, and also, as I said, being considered the face of boxing. Now Alvarez himself, he has unified the entire super middleweight division. After moving up from lower weight classes himself, unifying is a very rare achievement. It also means that this fight is for all of Canelo's belts. Canelo is much more experienced, of course. His resume is stacked, and he's fought some of the best from 154 all the way up to 175. People like Triple G, 3 times, Amir Khan, Floyd Mayweather, Daniel Jacobs, Miguel Cotto, to name but a few. But his home has always been at 168 pounds. Canelo is unbeaten in super middleweight and only losing twice in his whole career, versus Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight in 2022, and Floyd Mayweather years ago, 2013, at 154 pounds. Funnily enough, 154 pounds is the highest weight that Crawford has competed at. Alright, if you're a boxing fan, then you're in for a treat, because we've got a fight that transcends titles. We've got Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed champion, taking on the 3-division king, Terence Crawford. That is correct.